Welcome, everybody, to the Virtual Bridge Workshop 2, Connecting with Newcomers Online, How AI Can Help. My name is Marco, and I'll be your session moderator today. Like all of you who are here coming from Canada, my home is on native land. And so I live in Toronto, and I want to acknowledge that I live, work, and raise my children on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Haudenosaunee, the Wendat, and the Mississaugas of the Credit. In our sector, we and newcomers have some specific responsibilities when it comes to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada, which provides actually two specific calls to action related to newcomers. The first is adding language to the oath of citizenship, acknowledging Aboriginal and treaty rights of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people, and this has been done. The other is to revise the information kit for newcomers to Canada and its citizenship test to reflect a more inclusive history of the diverse Aboriginal peoples of Canada, including information about treaties and the history of residential schools. This is still a work in progress by the government, but the sector has been active on this. There are a number of excellent resources created by immigrant and refugee serving organizations that you can use to have these conversations in your organization and with newcomers. So I will share a link in the chat for you. And I encourage you to look at the toolkits, videos, language curriculum, and modules that you can use now in your work. So before we dive in, some quick logistics. All our presenters will present today, and then we'll have a Q&A at the end. We'll have some flexibility. If you ask one presenter a lot of questions, we may ask a few of those questions before we move on to the next presenter. The chat is open for you to interact with each other, to make comments, to share insights. Please also use the chat to ask questions for presenters that we will use in the Q&A portion. This session is being recorded to be shared publicly. If you have your video on, like now, when no one is sharing a screen and the group view is showing, it will show up in the recording. And we do ask you to mute yourselves during the session. And so now, enough with me, over to our presenters who will introduce themselves and share with you their presentations. And today we have Nick Noorani from Immigrant Networks, who will present about social media, AI, and technological sophistication in the sector. Kong Chen from Halifax Regional Municipality, who will present about approaches to intercultural communications in an online setting. And Ali Bahadi from Jumpstart Refugee Talent, and Ruslan Kurt from the Neighborhood Organization, who will present about AI tools for communications. So Nick, over to you.
Thank you. Can I assume that we can just have a common land acknowledgement, because it might take a little too much time?
Yeah. Let's assume that my land acknowledgement was for the session.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was just looking at mine and I was thinking this is going to take far too much time. Thank you very much for having me here. My name is Nick Noorani. I've been working with immigrants since I became an immigrant, and that is a very, very long time ago. Today I'm going to talk about social media. I'm going to talk about some of the opportunities, some of the challenges, and some of the things that we've been talking about and we've been hearing. Social media, AI, technology. I want to keep it all related to the newcomer journey. So how technology, social media, AI, and innovation can improve newcomer outcomes. Now, we do know for a while newcomers have been accessing the newcomers accessing settlement services are declining, and the pandemic became the tipping point, pushing services online, and combined with the buzzword AI became something that started reaching consumers and obviously immigrants and stakeholders alike. So from there, I want to point out to something that I think we need to be cognizant of all the time, that our profile of the immigrant has changed. They're younger. They have a CLB, average CLB of CLB 8. They're digital first. They've grown up with technology. Mobile usage is extremely high for everything. Answers are from Google or peers. In-person networking is with warm connections instead of walk-ins. Again, high social media usage for infotainment. By that, I mean information and entertainment. So, when you took a look at some of the surveys and the researches, which are now coming so much more available to marketers, cable TV and traditional media are replaced by paid YouTube, Hotstar, and other streaming platforms. This obviously is changing the paradigm, and again, as a marketer, I always say, if we don't reflect our audience will take their money and go elsewhere. So Immigrant Networks is a case study I wanted to talk about, because I wanted to talk about it in relation to the user journey and to how we are approaching this. So AI has been used by startups like Immigrant Networks since 2020. We use our AI to match newcomers based on the number one, their profession, and then on 9 different variables, including people's likes and interests, so that the matching becomes more accurate. In addition to this, we created a community of 25 ambassadors who are from 12 countries and 15 professions who are constantly giving advice and creating that sense of community through weekly live Zoom sessions and through our WhatsApp, always on WhatsApp, as I like to say. The WhatsApp was created because people turned around and said, we don't get an opportunity to talk to you, because if you've got a program that's on a Wednesday afternoon, or you've got a program that matches us once a week, then how do we call you or talk to you when we want to get advice? And so we created the WhatsApp group, and I do know that that a lot of the other groups, that I think is Refugee 911, does a great job of using WhatsApp. So when you think about what we've created with Immigrant Networks, an in-person comparative program like this would have taken years, if not decades, to do. A project like this without AI would have been, I guess, just matching people on a spreadsheet, and that's not going to work in today's environment, because we've got that environment where people want instant answers. And this actually worked out very well for one of our mature student candidates who sent out a message on WhatsApp. I've reached the second stage of an interview, help. So what happened at that point of time? At that point of time, we got together ambassadors, experts, who collectively gave 5 hours of advice, interview prep, and help so that the person could face the interview, because this is the first time this person was having an interview in Canada. What was the result? In 2 weeks' time, this individual had 3 confirmed job offers. This goes to show how the digital part continues with the human part. I mean, I saw somewhere a comment which stuck with me, that said that if everyone is talking about AI taking over and content just being completely washed out, they said no one said that when calculators were invented, that there'd be no more accountants. I thought that was an interesting comment. Okay, on to the next one. So how did we, as Immigrant Networks, again, my background is in marketing and advertising, technology, and community. So how did we change the content delivery? We changed it from a one-sided delivery system to a two-sided delivery system. What do I mean by that? Well, most content is delivered flat on a website. So it has all the content out there, and you assume that the newcomer will come to that website and accept that website. A lot of people have moved into the webinar process, which we pioneered in 2010. Webinars are a great way, but we also have the ambassador calls. We have our social media. We have WhatsApp bots. We have email AI integration. We have text. All of them are two-sided comments. So it's not just us giving the comment out there. It's immigrants asking us questions in real time. This is where the technology and the community interface, I believe, has a great opportunity. And I believe a lot of stakeholders have a great opportunity to utilize this. We are in the process of conducting a program, a research program with Peace Geeks and the Mariam SF, funded by the Mariam SF Fund of this, to find out whether there's an opportunity to use some of our programs for a mentorship program. And so those are also some of the opportunities that are there. Okay, so why do I keep talking about technology? The reason technology is so powerful is because it has almost infinite scale and software has zero marginal cost. This is Michelle Romanov from Dragon's Den. Technology is scalable and measurable. This is what Arlene Dickinson from Dragon's Den said about Immigrant Networks. So this is one of those great ideas that people come up with that are simple, yet extraordinary. And you wonder, why didn't anyone think of this before? I love it and see great potential in this. Now take a look at the data. New members. So this is within a specific period of time, 3,901, 1,107 participants, and 3,000 intros made. Average meeting duration, 40 minutes. Match fit, 100%. These are the kind of data that we can get. This is the kind of metrics that we can get from this audience. Okay, let's talk about the impact of social media and the scams. Social media is very important. There was this survey that the research report that TMU and CERC did and I've plucked out one part of it, and that says, in the first 6 months of arrival, those who used social media before arrival had, on average, a 3-to-1 advantage on getting established in the labor market versus those who did not use social media before arrival. What a powerful statement this is. And then you have the kind of scams that unfortunately are proliferating because the Canadian government and Canadian services are not as visible on social media. And so scams have taken the place where someone is offering to fix your resume on LinkedIn for $200. And that's sold out, but it's still at 25% off. Career discussion call at $120. These are scams, and they're actually the report, the TMU CERC report alluded to this, and that alluded to the fact that this has led to people having lower belief. They don't trust the information that is available on social media. I wish all of my members had that information, because one of my members actually lost her mortgage because, as you can see on the extreme right, this is an ad that was sent out on WhatsApp. WhatsApp and actually Telegram is more being used for a lot of these fake jobs, where someone puts in their bank account number and they watch the entire amount the entire account get depleted. So these are some of the challenges. So what is the responsibility from as stakeholders is to be present there to provide viable alternatives to all the scams that are going out there. The government and taxpayers spend a lot of money on the government programs. It's unfortunate that newcomers are not getting as deep an access to this. I wanted to keep my presentation as short as possible, and I wanted to allow for the 4 minutes for any Q&As.
Thanks so much, Nick. We don't have any questions in the chat right now for you, but I do encourage folks to add any questions you have for Nick as they come up in your thoughts, whether it's now or later. So we'll shift over now, and I want to invite Kong to begin his presentation.
Thank you, Marco. Just let me share my screen here. Awesome. So, okay, and good afternoon, everyone. It's my humble pleasure to be here presenting for all the fantastic frontline service providers to newcomers in Canada, worldwide, actually. And thank you, Dr. Stein, for inviting me to this meaningful workshop. Actually, my name is Cong. It spells like Kong, but all the C sounds in Mandarin are called TS. So it's our first free Mandarin class here. I am currently living on the beautiful East Coast, working with Halifax Regional Municipality. And before I was working with ISANS, Immigrant Services Association of Nova Scotia. And today I will discuss some approaches to intercultural communications in an online setting, which has kind of like same parts like Nick mentioned before. So as a newcomer myself, an educator, a service provider, a coordinator in Canada, I've realized the immense potential and challenges that the online platforms offer for intercultural communication. So let's dive in. There are 5 parts for my today's presentation, and I will try to make it as intense as I can, as concise as I can. First, we will dig a little bit deeper of the intercultural communication competence, aka ICC. What is ICC? The second part, the developmental model of intercultural sensitivity. Like, it's not something we are born with. The ICC is a continuum. The third part is the necessity of ICC online in Canada. Why is it important? The fourth part, I will share some, well, unique newcomer challenges online as a newcomer myself and the clients I served. It's just based on my own experience. And the last but not least, I will share some future recommendations of ICC in the AI online setting. And first one, let's look at the definition of ICC. And speaking of intercultural communication competence, actually it is, I tried to find the precise definition of this, well, terminology, but it is so ambiguous and contested. But there's one generally understood idea, and I post it here. It's a little bit long, but I highlighted the keywords. It's to understand and to involve the acquisition and maintenance of cultural specific knowledge, and also the ability to function effectively in the new cultural context, and as well as the ability to interact effectively with people from different cultural backgrounds. And in short, actually, ICC is the ability to effectively communicate with people worldwide. So how is it important? Why ICC? You know, as Nick mentioned, this is, well, in Canada, we have diverse population, and it is a crucial skill to set our increasingly globalized world, especially when it comes to our service providers to serve, to help the newcomers to Canada. And the second one, the transitioning from monocultural to what we call multicultural. It's not something that one is born with. It's developed over time. So keeping that development phase in mind, let's dig a little bit deeper of the developmental model of the intercultural sensitivity. This is like an illustrated interpretation of the developmental model presented by Dr. Bennett, which is a fantastic contributor in the intercultural communication field. So from here, we can see, or from the photo, we can see that there are 6 different stages. So from left to the right, we have denial, defense, minimization, so which is also called the ethnocentric level. And on the right side, we have acceptance, adaptation, and integration, which locates to the ethno-relative phase. So what does those words mean? Actually, it describes a cognitive structure, like how we think in our mind, that is communicated through the attitudes, like how we think, and behaviors, how we react. I will give you some quick examples of those phases given the time limits. So for example, denial, it's kind of like someone lives in a rural area. So they have never been exposed to another culture. So they think, oh, everyone in the world, they are the same. Defense, it's, well, one word or one sentence to say that is, if you hear someone says like, our way of doing this is just better. So they might see other cultures as threats or stereotype to others. Minimization, like, we are all human beings. Deep down, we are all the same. They only acknowledge the superficial cultural differences. And moving forward to the acceptance, they want to learn from different culture. And adaptation, kind of like the international students, they learn the local language to actively participate in local customs. And the last part, which is our ultimate goal, the integration, to we can fluidly to move between them, to incorporate different cultural practices into our daily lives. So there are three key elements that we need to remember. So the intercultural communication competence, it's a continuum. So it may not, someone's proficiency, they may not reflect on the same stage. It's kind of like a reference for us to think. And the goal of this model is to educate individuals to progress from the ethnocentric to ethno-relative level. Okay. Next one, the necessity of enhancing ICC online in Canada. Why is it important in the online setting in Canada? And there are three key points I want to mention. The first one, yes, as we all know, given Canada's multicultural makeup and the increasing number of newcomers, it requires a culturally sensitivity. And the second one, the importance of effective communication and also integrating the diverse populations require the overcoming stereotypes and biases. And the last one, as we all know, nowadays is the digital world. The online space is mostly kind of like the first contact between the newcomers and the service providers. So integrating all those online services and online in this domain can provide a multi-pronged approach to ensure a smoother communication and cultural understanding. So what are the problems? Think of all the newcomers coming to Canada for the past 20 years. Since COVID started, our new immigrants numbers doubled for the past few years with less in-person services. So how can they get those help, all those supports through online? So here I listed quite a few, unique newcomer challenges. The first one, we all know, the miscommunication due to the language and cultural barriers. First, the multilingual supports for newcomers. The unfamiliar social media, the platform and online services, like Nick mentioned, there are tens of different social medias, platforms, online services worldwide. So raise your hand, please, if you know all the websites or the social medias. WeChat, VK, Line, KakaoTalk, Telegram, Sina, Weibo, Red, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Pinterest, all the things. It's a representative of all the diverse population in Canada. We have people from different parts of the world, same as the social medias. Complex jargons, using local slang, idioms, or technical jargons. It's confusing, and sometimes it causes an inaccurate automated translation. Online job search, another topic that we are focusing for a long time. Same as the online customer services and supports. So most of my clients were challenging for the first year on these two topics to find online support for job search, and it's rare to find a customer service for them. Well, based on their language barriers. Cybersecurity, yeah, not to mention for all the targets for newcomers, the scams, the privacy exposures, and the different online norms. What we consider standard or acceptable in online communication, it differs. For example, the level of formality in email, it may vary between different cultures. Second part, the technology challenges and technology literacy. Not all newcomers have access to computers, and not all online services are mobile phone friendly. Not all newcomers are proficient in technology. And also the overwhelming amount of resources, it's challenging for them to determine which is relevant and trustworthy to prioritize. Next part, the underrepresented newcomers feeling isolated. For example, the first part, which is we are in Canada, we are celebrating the diversity of 2S LGBTQIA+ community. However, the specific intersection of both being a newcomer and a minority might not always be well represented online. Newcomers might feel, well, stumbled upon some non-supportive communities online. I mentioned some softwares that we are using for socialize, professionally and personally, but there are so many non-supportive communications happening through those websites or social medias. Those who have not come out or they just recently come out, they are fear of exposure, especially when they have connections or online platforms with their family or friends from their own country. People who needs accessibility or needs additional mental health supports. So those are all underrepresented, or they are all marginalized with online services access. So what can we do? The future of ICC in AI online setting is a big topic. And honestly, I'm not a pro. So I thought about that and I created 6 different settings that we can, refer to. Use-friendly navigation, simplify the interface, and recognize that, the digital literacy, they may vary among newcomers. Language assistance. So if we don't have a multilingual version of online services, try to think of AI-powered translation to help with a real-time and instantly language translation to break down the language barrier. Engage on population platforms. There are tons of different social medias and platforms that we can use. So recognizing the popularity of these platforms among newcomers, create some, local groups or WhatsApp channels like Nick mentioned is a big help. The online 2L LGBTQIA+ resources for newcomers to help them to come out to help them to facilitate in a way that they can use to reach out to their own life journey or their, what we call as the initial step in their self-identity pursuing journey. Scam awareness campaign, at least run some campaign education to newcomers about the potential online scam targeting on them. And the last part, which I mentioned the most as well, last but not least part, is to implement the intercultural communication competence in the online content. So remember, as all the service providers here in Canada, we are not just providing information, but we are facilitating the integration and well-being of newcomers in Canada. So a few things we can consider when creating the online contents. Create relevant, culturally relevant graphics and design. Use inclusive resources to highlight, to highlight the resources that specifically address the unique challenges they face. Confidential supports to offer some confidential online counseling or chat support to those who need someone to talk during the pandemic or during the digital phase, but they are not ready for face-to-face interactions. Use automatically generated multimedia. We are all using the AI technology, so we have learners worldwide with different kinds of abilities, proficiencies. Create more videos, audios, infographics, H5Ps and quizzes to present in a more engaging way to ensure the customer supports are diverse, or at least they are trained in ICC to understand the cultural nuances. It can be invaluable. And the last 2, accessibility features. When we design those websites and resources, try to think of the universal design principles and when referring to the online platforms, make sure it's mobile friendly. And last but not least, for the conclusion, I'm trying to think of this way to make it concise. So there's always more that can be done, especially in terms of providing targeted online services for newcomers who are navigating both culturally transitioning and their own personal journey of identity, like myself. And it's essential to recognize that these diverse backgrounds and approach online services with empathy, with respect, and also a genuine desire to assist. And the last but not least, it's fundamentally important in the AI era. And technology, it can be a bridge, but it shouldn't be a barrier. So that's all. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email or scan my LinkedIn QR code. I'd like to connect with you. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Song, as well as for the language lesson, and I apologize for the mispronunciation.
It's okay.
There are a couple of questions, but and actually some nice intersections in the questions between your presentation and Nick's, but so I want to leave those to the end and see if we have a third level of intersection after our next presenters. So I want to, our next presenters will start with Ruslan from the Neighborhood Association and followed up with Ellie from Jumpstart Refugee Talent. So over to you.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? And can you see me?
We can both hear and see you. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, guys. So we pretty much cover, I think, the portion when we said about the benefits of using AI for the nonprofits. And today I'm going to show you the small presentation, and I will try to give you kind of amazing opportunities that AI can give for the nonprofits. Of course, not only for the nonprofits, but we will focusing particularly on the nonprofits. So just a moment, I will share my screen. Oh, can you provide me, please, hosting permission for this sharing the screen, please?
Give me a minute, let me check.
Thank you.
Yes. Can you try now?
Yep, thanks. It's working.
Thank you.
So I would like to start with a quote. So AI doesn't replace your creativity, it improves. So it's actually true. First, I would like to say that in my daily basis, I'm working for TNO, the neighborhood organization here in Toronto, and I'm doing the marketing, social media, and basically on my daily basis, I am using the AI tools. I'm using the different platforms. I'm using the different software, and what I try to, what I can see, this AI step, it's growing very fast, and the more we kind of using AI, the more it learn itself, so it's become very advanced soon. Maybe not now, but in the future. So the benefits, I've write the 4 benefits for me personally. So it's outreach and engagement, streamline operations, data-driven decision making, and cost efficiency. So, but moving forward, when I prepare for the speech, I found that picture. I would like you to spend maybe a few seconds to watch that. It's actually quite the popular pictures. It's was spread in the LinkedIn, and it says 120 mind-blowing AI tools. And as you can see, it's spread according to the 6 section. So it's a video, it's a marketing, it's it's a design and productivity. So each of those sections have actually many other things. Oh, just a sec. Yeah. Very good now. So many other things to see in terms of the software programming. And today I'm going to show you only 6. So I select from each of this section one AI tool. Some of them I'm using on the daily basis. Some of them I'm try to use because even like it's mentioned 120, but in reality it's even more. So obviously we cannot touch base for everything, but I found for you something useful, hopefully, and I'll try to show you which from video marketing, chatbot design, writing, and productivity you can use on your daily basis or maybe on monthly basis. So now I stop sharing and switch to the browser when I can show you this specific website and software. Just a sec. Okay, can you see the website called Beat.io?
We can.
Yes.
Okay, so this website, I don't know how you're using that before or no, but I'm using for the video editing and to generate subtitles. So it's basically the great source. They have a payment subscription, but the basic things you can do for free, and it's really great if you need to do anything with your video. It's kind of backup solution, or maybe CapCut, it's also a backup solution for the vid. But what I found particularly interesting in that website, that they have the specific section when you can see AI tools. So so they have a sections, right? So you can generate avatars, AI image generator, AI video editor, and eye contact correction, video background remover. So again, not maybe all of this feature you would like to use or you need to use in your daily basis, but I will just highlight a few of them, which I think it's really interesting. So for example, this is not a new feature or unique feature for that website. It's existing in the market, but as you can see on the picture, like for example, this gentleman reading the text from the screen, and you can see he's not focusing on you, he's not watching and you not right in the screen. But because of the AI, we can generate the illusion that this, like particularly you can read from another screen, but AI generate your eye contact will be directed at you. So for example, if you have the big workshop or any of presentation when you need to learn or remember the huge number of the text and it's presented online, so you can use this feature to basically not stress yourself and read the text which you prepared before, and the people will see direct contact with you, which is great. The same thing related to AI, it's sorry. So it's a video background remover. Of course, you can say like Ruslan, there's a lot of things existed in the Zoom when we can make different background. Yes, but you kind of it's doing in another way. So you can download your pictures, you can use which is installed in the Teams or in the Zoom, but it's here it's a bit different solution to make it. I think it's like more advanced solution for that. So I'm encourage you to visit that website if you're doing in your particularly like maybe on the monthly basis any video, like maybe donation video or engagement video for your followers or for potential donors, partners. Just take a look. They have a huge number of different features, not only AI, but because we are doing today specifically focusing on AI presentation. We discuss how we can use AI on that website, and there's a lot of useful information. So anything related to the video, you can check out this website. So the next one, it's more related to the marketing. So, and again, there's a lot of solution it's existing on the market. And as you know, the marketing, it's something big, and but I select this particular AI solution for SEO, so search engine optimization, which give you the advantage when it's related to how your website of your organization presented on the search results. So obviously everyone wants if any like keywords, let's say a non-profit organization in Canada, or specifically any of the cities you are located. So everyone wants to see their organization on the top of the search list. So the search engineering optimization give you kind of the good push to you be visible on top of the list. And with this AI, it's kind of help you to be there, to provide you solution, to support you in that matter. It's a like long way to do that, because it's a long journey, but it's important to do. So for the marketing, I select that one specifically, but again, a lot of different features are existing in the market. So moving forward to more funny parts, or maybe useful parts. So this is AI solution. It's called like email assistant, but we can use it not for the email. We can use it for social media replies, for any replies. If you have a chatbot on your organization website, you can use this as well. So what is give you? So according to the style, mood, whatever, it's generate to you that response. So if someone want to send you, or someone send you a message, just imagine like your client send you a message on I don't know, let's say Instagram or on email, and of course you want to present or reply in the most convenient way, and don't spend like much time, because that emails can be like 10, 20, 30 a day. So what you can do using the AI, you copy and paste. So you copy the answer, and it's give you like potential reply for this question from the client. So again, you save your time, you can be more productive, and it's give you another like different solution. So again, it's not only for the nonprofits. You can use it also in your daily life, but in your working life you can use it as well, because it's here. So instead of typing manually, it can give you automatic response. Of course, you always need to double check and verify if it's correct, and you can correct, but the base, it will be there. And it says powered by ChatGPT 4. So we will touch base about the ChatGPT later on, because it's pioneer, one of the pioneers on the AI. And our next one, it will be DALL-E 2. So what is actually doing? It's generating the picture. So when we say something about the productivity, creativity in AI, so I think there's two different people's opinion. So opinion number one, it's not great enough to give you like straight away solution. For example, if I type something right now and ask the lead generate for me image, I don't think so it will be ideal to use straightforward. Why? Because as AI, it's still kind of fresh or new solution for the nonprofits or in general in the market. So it starts just blooming, and it's still learning. So it's maybe you need to spend sometimes to receive that image you want. But again, you ask me why we just can go to the free sources like Free Peak or like any of the websites, free or payment, like with real free or stock images, and then we just found what we need actually, why we need to spend our time and asking the AI to generate for us image, and maybe it will be not even the perfect. So my answer, it's very simple, because not always you can find the image you needed. So especially when we're talking about the nonprofits, we know what kind of images we can use and what kind of images we usually don't use. And especially it's like a bit sensitive content, or you want specific pictures with a specific people on that picture, and it's really hard to find something and in the ready-made solutions. So either you need to go and create yourself that content, or you can try and play with AI. I do have like some experience with the Lee and kind of similar website with generate images according to your request. What I want to say, it's not always looks perfect. It looks okay for if you're doing something for the flyers, maybe combination text and image. So you use the image first, and then you add your pictures in Canva, and you can do that. Sometimes that's even give you the good solution for image itself, but on my own opinion, it's maybe you either need to go deeper and learn more how to generate the pictures using your request, or you just need to maybe wait another maybe year, and because it's so advanced now, and it's growing continuously. So, and in the future, you don't need to spend like hours and try to find the different wording to get that image. But let's try, and just in case you want to see what we can generate. So we're doing something which is related to the nonprofits. Maybe let's say if we say create image with newcomers. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm out of the credit. I tried too many things, so I need to buy the credit. Okay, so I will do it that later, and I can share it with you guys that picture. But below you can see kind of what it can generate for you, what kind of images it can give you. Some of the images, they are more artistic, some it's more looks like in the real time pictures. So you give the flavors what this AI can actually give it to you.
Ruslan, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I need you to try to finish in the next minute or so we have enough time for Ellie and the Q&A.
Okay, thank you. So yeah. So to finish, the next one, it's ChatGPT. So like many people know the ChatGPT, and you actually, I think that's right. So it's good for generating the big content, any of the content for you. Regardless, it's blog or email you need to. So that I'm using on the daily basis, and for your productivity. Try that website. It's give you really powerful solution in terms of to be more productive, and you doing the more task on your daily basis. There's a lot of many features existing here. So yeah, that is from my side. Thank you so much. So we touch base about all that 6 topics. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Ruslan. That was really interesting, and I know there's a lot of interest in the chat and amongst people about using specific tools. So I'm sure you'll get some good questions after that. Ellie, let's go over to you, and then we'll move into our Q&A soon after.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for this wonderful presentations. My name is Eddie, and I work as a communication and events manager at Jumpstart Refugee Talent, where we support refugees with meaningful employment and entrepreneurship opportunities. So today I'm going to be sharing some of the tools that I use, well, specifically on Canva. Canva, I think a lot of us use it as a content creation platform, and it's really helpful. Just throw some emojis or heart emojis or whatever if you love Canva as much as I do on Zoom here. I saw last year, attended the virtual event that they did announcing all the AI tools that they have been integrating. So I'm today here going to share some of these fantastic tools, and depending on the time, I'll just oh, what is this happening? Sorry. Depending on the time, we'll see how much I can move forward with it. Oh, wow. Okay, there we go. All right, so some of the things quickly. Canva for nonprofits exists as well. So if you're a nonprofit or a health organization or social impact organization, you can always apply to benefit for free from Canva. You can use this. There's so many great features that you can use here that we'll go over some in a bit. One of the main differences from between before and after AI on Canva is the use of the document. So generally before AI integration, you would have this, let's say for the flyer or whatever you want to create, you can just create a text, add the text here, basically headline, subheadline, whatever. But one of the new features, which is the AI doc, when you go create design, document, the addition of the Magic Writer. Magic Writer now, I love it so much. It's been doing amazing work. I'll give you an example of one of the things, prompts that I prepared for this. So write a 200 words professional LinkedIn post focusing on the importance and benefits of networking for newcomers in Canada. Include some emojis and bullet points. Remember, one thing that we want always to use with Canva or any AI tool is not to use it as a Google search engine or type in few keywords here and there, but actually make sure that our prompt is accurate, includes a number of words, includes all the specification that we wanted to give us. The more specific we are in our prompts, the better results we get. So as you see, there's a number of the words, where it's going, which platform I'm using, what's to focus on, etc., add emojis, etc. So let's generate this and see what it will give us. And here we go. Networking is essential for newcomers to Canada to establish themselves, their chosen field, and build a successful career, etc. Here are some benefits. We have some emojis: meet new people, build a relationship, advance your career, stand out from crowd, etc. So within seconds, it gave me a post on what I asked, right? I can tailor it for, could be Instagram. I could tailor the reduce or increase the numbers and all that. One more here. So just quickly go over this. We have the magic design as well. You can choose all these to integrate immediately rather than adding it from the sidebar that we used to do before. So another quick thing for, since we are on the prompt section, I'm just going to reduce this. Let's do 5 productive tips for entrepreneurs. We get these tips. Plan your day. I want to include here a design, let's say. And then search for element, entrepreneurship. You can go graphics, photos, shapes, etc., etc. Let's say I want to create this one here. Set it as a background. Now, one of the cool things here that I can do is convert this whole thing into a presentation. I can choose the style that I want. I can choose the template style, if I want to include my brand colors, etc., etc. This looks cool. So I'll just create my presentation. And there we have it. We have There you go. It will divide everything based on how it's set. You can play around with the font and everything. You can decide that on the when you do it, the convert to a presentation, basically. All right. So we're done with this. Sorry. So Canva, think of it as Word plus design Canva. That's how basically the doc is working. Sorry. And then I'm gonna go over here the translate option that we have. So this is one of the documents that I worked on earlier this year. And to go over what Thong was talking about in terms of translation and not having enough content for multiple languages. Now AI has a tool that creates quickly and generates translates something immediately for you. So on the app side over here, if I go on translate, it should be, there we go. So the translate button, I click on it, automatic language selector. Let's say I want to translate it to Arabic to cater to our audience, create basically translation. And here we have a fully translated document with the pictures, with everything, instead of going on Google Drive, translating one line and coming and pasting it here again, right? So it's just giving me this quick, accessible translation that I could use immediately. However, I would still be mindful. This is one of the challenges that I keep seeing with any translation, whether it's on Google Translate or any AI translation tool, is that it's translating the literal meaning rather than the actual meaning of what we mean here in the English section, right? So it's still better to run any translation that you do by someone who can speak the language, actually. So if this is Arabic, I'm going to run it by someone from my team who speaks Arabic. If I'm translating to, let's say I want Ukrainian, it'll give me the same thing. It will translate to Ukrainian, but I would still run it by someone who speaks the language to make sure that the language is accurate. And now, one of the cool things as well over here is that I get to download this. I can pick either to download it as a picture or a PDF standard or PDF print. This is one of the new features as well, not through AI, but still a cool feature that I'd like to share as well. Not everyone is familiar with this. Another cool thing that was recently added is the positions. So a lot of times when we're working on posts that are just overlapping, let's say this image is right here. I want to position. I want to see which ones are overlapping, and I can just select this and move around and play with it and all that. All right, just a quick note on the positions as well. Now to the fun part for me. I'm just gonna go back here and go to a new page. One of the cool things in Canva is the text to image feature. Now, as everyone was mentioning, it's still, artificial intelligence is intelligent, it's doing amazing things, but still it's not that intelligent. So one of the challenges with this, let's say I have a prompt ready, so I'm just going to copy paste it for time. A woman entrepreneur mentoring a male refugee, right? Oops, sorry. A woman entrepreneur mentoring a male refugee. I can choose a style. So if I choose photo and then create the image, they'll give me some options, but with the images, it's not 100% accurate. It doesn't look perfect. So there are some challenges with the images. What I prefer instead of these images actually is to choose the style of either watercolors and then create. And within seconds again, it'll give me a bit more. I believe, for me at least, these are a bit better than the photo ones because they're not necessarily 100% realistic, right? Another option that I really like is the playful. So I'm going to choose maybe something different here, another prompt. Professional networking in a building with data analysts, right? Create. Let's see what it will give us. There we go. Cool stuff as well, right? So it's not realistic. It's AI generated, but it's a bit better for me, at least for the photos. And you can always give feedback to Canva if there's any issues that you find with these with these generated images. Now, as we're on the images, another cool feature that was added to the AI is if I want to remove the magic eraser here. So I want to remove this bubble here. I just simply, whoops, I went a bit over. Within seconds as well, it should remove the brush. You can decide the brush side. Again, you can just, clear it a bit more and have a clearer background here if you want to add, maybe let's say, a text over here instead, right? So you can, again, clean it one more time. It'll be fully cleaned and just add the text. How much time do we still have? Some time? Can I go over the
yeah,
templates?
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. You've got
Perfect.
maybe a couple minutes if that's okay.
Okay, I'll just go quickly over the templates because this is also another magic creator, another cool feature that was added. So this will help actually our job as content creators easier, make it really much more easier to do everything. So let's say I want to work with image. I'm just going to choose this because this was recently saw it on LinkedIn. Chai GPT. What will happen is it will just create templates for me, right? Multiple templates that I can choose from. I can also tailor it towards category, business, social media. Let's say I want Instagram post, Facebook ad. Let's just try Facebook ad. The same media style, headline. It will give me multiple options that I can choose from, right? And then again, using any of the tools that I want to clear and remove and all that. So that works out fine. And then you can save them under your brand template and then use all the templates that you want for later on after creating these templates. And one thing that I want to also mention about these, again, don't use it as Google. Make sure you're practicing the prompts really well to get more better results. And be wary, I just also saw something on LinkedIn today about Fraud GPT, which is the evil twin of Chat GPT. So we always want to be also careful about these tools that are out there, but use them to our benefits rather than using them or not using them at all as well, right? So that concludes my presentation.